Hey, how you doing out there? My name is Tino Hernandez, and I am the CEO and founder of Dial Sharks. At Dial Sharks, we pride ourselves on producing the best possible converting leads for our clients. Whether you're in real estate, roofing, solar, flooring, it doesn't matter. We can handle the task. So in the past, I've heard many nightmare stories of people spending a lot of money on lead generation just to fall short of closing deals. And the reason why that typically is not necessarily the lead itself, but the actual conversion. So at Dow Sharks, we pride ourselves on trying to help the client maximize on their leads and make as much money as possible in a short amount of time as possible. And how are we going to do that? With a high-level sales process and good conversion skills. Check it out. At Dow Sharks, we created a bot that's going to mimic the seller to a T. So you can practice and role play with your sales process to make sure you're not missing out on anything and you're converting at the highest possible rate. Check this out.
Hello, James speaking.
Hey James, how are you? My name is Tino. I was reaching out because you recently spoke to one of my associates, Maria, about receiving a cash offer on your property on 123 Main Street. Is that correct?
Oh, hi, Tino. Yes, I did speak with Maria about that. She mentioned something about a cash offer, but I'm still not sure if I'm ready to move forward. What can you tell me about your offer?
Well, it depends, right? There's no right price for the wrong house, okay? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to ask you a few more questions about the property and see if I can maximize on this offer and put as much money in your pocket as possible. Now, let me ask you a question, James. Do you have 10 minutes real quick?
Sure, Tino. I've got a few minutes. What do you need to know?
Perfect. So give me a walk through the property. Let's say I'm looking at it from the outside. Looks like the garage is on the right side. The door is on the left. How is it still that faded peach color paint, or has it been repainted in the last 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, it's still that faded peach color. I haven't repainted it in quite a while, probably over 10 years, to be honest. The exterior could definitely use some freshening up.
Okay, no problem. Not a problem, James. The good thing is I'm going to actually take care of all that, so you won't have to worry about paying for that. With that being said, did you ever get a quote on what it would cost to repaint the outside of the property?
No, I never got a quote for it. I figured it would be pretty pricey, so I just put it off. It's one of those things that's been on my to-do list for years, but never got around to.
Yeah, that makes sense. So a house like yours, that's going to be somewhere around the lines of $10,000 to $12,000. But again, don't worry about that. You're not going to have to take care of that. Now, as far as the roof goes, what's the condition of the roof, and has it been repaired or replaced in the last 5 to 10 years?
The roof is definitely older. I'd say it's probably around 15 years old now, but hasn't been replaced or repaired recently. But I haven't noticed any major leaks or issues, at least not yet. It's probably something that'll need attention soon, though.
Okay, James, no worries. So that's something that I'm going to be liable for up to 10 years after the sale of the property, so it's definitely going to need to be changed by me. On a house like that, I'm looking about 15 grand. So 15K, don't worry about it. You won't have to take care of that. Now, let me ask you about the windows. Do you have the single pane windows, the old ones, or do you have like the energy efficient double pane windows that save a bunch of money for people?
They're still the old single pane windows. I never got around to upgrading them to the energy efficient ones. I know they're not the best, but they've been working fine for now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So on a house your size, I'm looking somewhere around 15 to 20K to change out those windows to the nice ones. The more modern ones that everybody likes. Okay, so let's not worry about that too much right now. Now let's go inside and look at the kitchen. What kind of countertops do you have? Cabinets? Has there been any remodeling to the kitchen within the last 5 years at all?
The kitchen hasn't been remodeled in a long time. The countertops are still the old laminate ones, and the cabinets are pretty dated to original to the house, actually. It's functional, but it could definitely use some updating to bring it into this century.
No, for sure. I get that. Countertops, typically kitchens are anywhere between 20 to 25K. Let's say the cabinets are pretty decent. I might be able to just get away with resurfacing them and painting them. So on the low end would be like 15 grand. Now, as far as the flooring goes throughout the house, do you have carpet, tile? What do you got?
The flooring is a mix. There's carpet in the bedrooms and living room, and then there's some old tile in the kitchen and bathrooms. None of it has been updated in years, so it's definitely showing its age. The carpet especially could probably use replacing.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, as far as for sure, I'm going to replace the carpet because you wouldn't want to move into a house that has old carpet, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. I wouldn't want to move into a house with old carpet either. It's definitely something that would need to be replaced.
For sure, absolutely. I'll take care of that. Let me ask you about the backyard, the landscaping. Is there anything special about it, or is it still dirt and rock?
It's pretty basic, mostly dirt and some patches of grass here and there. And there's no fancy landscaping or anything like that. It's just kind of plain and could use some work to make it look nice.
Okay, no worries. So something like that probably be about $20K, just to do everything with the nice flagstone and the grass and all that good stuff. Let me ask you another question real quick. How long have you lived in this property for?
I've been in this house for about 20 years now. It's been home for a long time, but I know it's starting to show its age.
Sure. And let me ask you, James, what was the reason why you were interested in possibly selling this property?
Well, to be honest, it's just getting to be a bit much for me to keep up with. Between the repairs it needs and the general upkeep, it's starting to feel overwhelming. I've been thinking it might be time to downsize.
That makes sense.
It's not an easy decision. Yeah, it's definitely a tough decision, but I think it might be the right move for me at this point.
Sure. Well, James, it looks like I have all the information I need to make you an offer, but before I do, what were you looking or hoping to get for the property?
Well, I've been looking at similar homes in the area, and I think it's worth around $300,000. Of course, I know it needs some work, so I'm open to hearing what you have in mind.
Sure. 300,000. Okay. James, if you don't mind me asking, how did you come up with that number?
I've just been looking at some listings in the neighborhood and seeing what other homes are going for. I know mine isn't in perfect condition.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So those properties are all listed. I'm sure I'm looking at one right here on the next block over. It's listed for $300,000, but it's been completely renovated from the ground up. I'm talking about like to the nines. Brand new paint, brand new roof, double pane windows, countertops, cabinets. I mean, the whole 9 yards. It's been completely renovated. With that being said, I know you were looking to get $300,000, but considering your property's nowhere near that condition of the ones that are listed for $300,000, realistically speaking, what are you willing to take for this property?
I see your point. I guess I'd have to be realistic about the condition of my house compared to those fully renovated ones. I'd say I'd be willing to consider something in the $250,000 range, but I still need to feel like it's a fair deal. What do you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Of course, it's got to be a fair deal for both parties, right? I'm not here to put you in a bad situation. I want to help you out, and also in the process, help myself out. 250,000. Let's say you were to list it at 250,000 as is. Typically, realtor fees, closing costs, all that good stuff adds up to about 11%. But let's use 10% for easy math, James. So at 10%, that's about 25,000. So that means you would net walk away with about 225. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I hadn't really thought about all the fees and costs that would come out of it if I listed it. So $225,000 is what I'd actually walk away with in that scenario, huh?
Yes, that's exactly correct. Well, let me ask you something, James. If I was able to meet you at that 225, close fast, you wouldn't have to take care of any closing costs or anything like that. You wouldn't have to lift one paintbrush. It would just be as is. Is that something you'd be able to move forward with today?
$225,000 as is and no extra costs on my end does sound appealing. I'd still need to think it over a little, but it's definitely something I'd seriously consider. It's just a big decision, you know?
Sure. I understand that. I understand you want to downsize. So at 225, I think that's a pretty good offer, and that's something that you would, not have to do anything to the property at all. It would just be us coming in, paying you a bunch of cash through a title company, and you can take what you want, leave what you don't, and it's as is.
That does sound like a pretty good deal, Tino. I like the idea of not having to deal with any of the hassle and just walking away with cash. Let me sleep on it tonight, and I'll get back to you tomorrow. Does that work for you?
Well, I fail to believe that we can't come to an agreement today. So I just want to ask you a question. It just seems like you're not informed enough, or I didn't do my job correctly, and you might have some questions. Did you have any questions about the process or anything?
No, Tino, you've actually explained everything really well. I don't have any questions about the process. It all sounds straightforward. I think it's just me needing a little time to feel comfortable with the decision. It's a big step, and I just want to make sure I'm ready.
I understand that, James. I totally understand. Let me ask you a question. If I could
Sure,
close extremely quickly, get you that 225, and make this the most pain-free process as possible, is that something we could move forward with and sign a contract with today?
You know what, Tino? If you can really make it that smooth and stick to the $225,000, I think we can move forward and get this done today. Let's do it.
Okay, James, give me 1 second. I'm going to go see my financial partner just walked in the door. We go 50-50 on all these properties. I just want to see if I can do that. So 225. Give me 1 second, okay?
All right, Tino, take your time. He'll be here.
Okay, so I put him on mute. I put him on mute so I can listen to see if he's going to say anything else. This guy was a little tough, right? He just didn't lay down. He kept trying to think about it.
Tino, just checking back in. Were you able to speak with your financial partner? Let me know where we stand.
Yeah, James, give me 1 second, please. So,
sure, take your time.
What I was able to do is I was able to drop him from 300 to 250, then to 225. I haven't dropped them. Those are just logical numbers. He dropped himself. Now check this out. Hey, James, are you there?
Hey, Tino, Yes, I'm here, Tino.
Hey, you're going to want to sit down for this. I got some great news.
All right, I am listening. What's the great news?
Okay, James. So with that being said, we want to buy this property. Coming in all cash, closing in 10 to 12 business days, and buying the property in as-is condition. We're going to be at $155,000. All I need is your email address, James, and I can get this contract signed over and sent over to you.
$155,000? That's quite a bit lower than what we were discussing earlier. I'm not sure I can go that low, Tino. Can you explain how you came to that number?
I understand. So the reason being, James, is it's going to need a lot of work. A lot of work. I'm sure you can understand that. I'm going to need to replace the roof. That's $15K. I'm going to need to paint the house. That's $10K. I'm going to need to do the windows. That's another $20K. I mean, that's about $45,000, and I haven't even walked inside the house, James.
I get that it needs a lot of work, Tino, but $155,000 still feels pretty low to me. I was hoping we could. Great, I'm glad to hear that. What can you do for me?
I could probably come up, like if I didn't instead of getting all new cabinets, I could, like I said earlier, possibly refinish them and repaint them, and I can save those, pass those savings on to you. So with that being said, instead of 155, I'd probably be around 165. Now, certainly that's a lot better than 155, right?
I appreciate you coming up to $165,000, Tino, but I'm still feeling like it's a bit too low for me to feel comfortable. I was really hoping to get closer to $200,000. Is there any way we can meet somewhere in the middle, maybe around $185,000?
Let me see. I'm going to run some numbers real quick. And the windows, you said there was nothing wrong with the windows, right?
Well, the windows are the old single pane ones, so they're not energy efficient or modern. They work fine, but they're definitely outdated and could use an upgrade.
Okay, James, look, I really want to make this work, and I do want to do business with you, and I want to help you out, and I would love to buy this property. I just need a little bit of help. You're at 185, I'm at 165. What if I could do 178? Can we wrap this up right now?
$178,000 is definitely closer to what I was hoping for. You know what, Tino? I think we can make that work. So let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Perfect, James. What's your email address? I'm going to send this over while we're on the phone.
Great. My email address is james.smith@email.com. Go ahead and send it over, and I'll review it while we're on the call.
Thanks, James. Okay, I just sent that over. Just as we agreed, $178,000 for the property. I'm going to sign here. I click. I signed. All you got to do is tap to sign, baby.
All right, Tino, I see it in my inbox. Let me open it up real quick, okay? I see the agreement. Everything looks good. I'll go ahead and tap to sign now. Done. Looks like we're all set. Thanks, Tino.
Oh, thank you, James. And I'm excited for this. Let me ask you a question, James. Who are you going to tell first that you sold your property?
You know, Tino, I think I just might. It's definitely a big step, but I'm feeling good about this decision. Thanks for making the process so smooth.
For sure, absolutely. Is there anybody you're going to share the big news with first?
Yeah, I'll probably share the news with my family first. They've been encouraging me to make this move for a while now, so I'm sure they'll be excited to hear it's finally happening.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what's going to happen, just to kind of set some expectations for you so you know the timeline, what's going to happen is within the next 24 to 48 hours, our transaction coordinator, her name is America, she's going to reach out to you, introduce herself. She's kind of going to be your information hub. So any question that you have, you can direct to her. She's going to be calling you from a 623 number. Now, if for some reason she can't answer a question, you can reach out to me directly. This is my phone number. Also, what's going to happen is we're going to schedule a walkthrough so I can get my contractors in there. We can take pictures and videos and get started on getting bids and quotes on what it's going to cost me to renovate this puppy. Okay?
Got it, Tino. That all makes sense.
Perfect.
I'll keep an eye out for America's call, and I'll make sure to answer any questions she might have. I appreciate you walking me through the next steps. It helps to know what to expect. Let me know when you're ready to schedule the walkthrough, and I'll make sure to be available. Thanks again.
Thanks, James. We'll talk soon, okay? If for any question comes up,
Sounds good.
you can go ahead and reach out to me.
Sounds good, Tino. I appreciate it, and I'll reach out if anything comes up. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, James. You take care.
You too, Tino. Take care.
So just like that, we were able to practice our sales script to make sure that we are maximized on every single lead and we are able to convert these leads, okay? The biggest issue I've seen in this industry is people spend a lot of money on marketing, but they cannot convert to save their lives. Hopefully with this free tool, yes, it's free. We're offering it for free. It will help you get in the right direction. I'm going to bundle this free tool up with my sales script for free. And also, I'm going to drop the link to our free 15-minute success call. I know that this tool here is so powerful, and if done correctly with a good sales process, this tool is going to help so many people out there make more deals, make more money, and make it faster. I can't wait for you to get your hands on this and start dialing.